Coming up on City Spotlight, just a handful of episodes left in Season 9, and we're back on location in Casey. We'll talk with Casey Mayor Mike Nichols about annual activities in Casey, an update on future development on the north end of Casey, and future plans for Fairview Park. And we'll end the program with a feature, a behind-the-scenes look at Casey and the big things in Casey. We're on location and talking the latest going on in Casey, next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. Hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we are on location once again here in Season 9. We're down to the last handful of episodes and we are back in a familiar spot, Casey City Hall. That means we're talking with the mayor of Casey, Mike Nichols. Mike, great to have you on the program again.
Hey, glad to have you back and bring us up on some new stories we got, some new things we got going on.
Fantastic. We first taped with Mike about a year and a half ago, beginning of 2022, so we're taping with Mike here during the warm weather months, and that means lots of activities. And let's start with that, Mike, and you have the new Casey Central Park that is complete on Main there, downtown Casey. And you've had a series of band concerts already going through the summer.
Through the summer, correct. Yeah, we're fortunate enough that John Crouch is putting together a music program for us, and we're the city sponsoring it in conjunction with Casey Industries, letting us use the park. And we had our first one last Thursday. We've got every other Thursday now through the end of August. We got music events for downtown, free events. Come down, bring your lawn chair, enjoy the music, and John's got a very good program, and I appreciate his efforts and Casey Industries' efforts for helping us with the park too.
Mike handed me the list of upcoming events, so we'll have upcoming concert dates. We'll have that for you in the community calendar segment after we're done talking with Mike. Also coming up, and this episode is airing just after the 4th of July, but talking with Mike before we hit the record button, you have a plan moving forward on how to handle 4th of July activities for Casey, and you're in a similar boat as a lot of other smaller communities. Tell us what the plans are for the 4th of July in Casey.
Well, like you said, small towns have a hard time when the 4th falls midweek. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get vendors. It's hard to get firework vendors in order to come and work at the small communities. So what we've decided to do as a council is to create a Freedom Festival for the weekend after the 4th, or if the 4th happens to fall on the weekend, that weekend. And it'll allow us to do some things on the 4th if it falls midweek, but it'll allow us to have a bigger and better celebration for the weekend thereafter. And going forward, folks will know exactly what we're going to do. The 4th is a very patriotic event. I didn't feel it was doing us justice if we couldn't have a good fireworks show, or we couldn't have that many vendors to help us celebrate. Right. And the council and I thought it'd be best to let's broaden that. And you know what? If we get the opportunity to celebrate midweek and again on the weekend our independence, I'm all for it.
Celebrating twice.
Exactly.
All right, very good. That's the plan moving forward. And a lot of other Central Illinois communities of similar size or smaller, from what I've seen and read, are going with that similar approach. So if it works for one, it works for another.
Should work for us, yes, sir.
All right, very good. Let's stick with the activities because we're taping here in the latter part of June, but just in a few months down the road, the excitement is probably already building for the 35th Casey Popcorn Festival.
Yes, sir. And last year, a younger group took it over. The older guys have been doing it for years. It just comes a time when you want to pass that baton. They passed it on to a younger group that took it and made it even bigger and better. And I've talked to those individuals, and they've got a huge popcorn festival planned this year with many music events, many different things going on down at the park. And I'm looking forward to that continuing to grow and bring more and more people into our community to enjoy Casey.
Let's stick talking with the Popcorn Festival, because it's something that I have experienced, not just the Popcorn Festival, but all these communities that we've had on this program. They have an annual festival. Some are lucky to have more than one. That's annual. Before the big things came around for Casey, the Popcorn Festival had to be one of the bigger money draws. Talk about the importance of the popcorn. I know we talked a lot about the big things last time we talked, but the importance of the Popcorn Festival as it approaches.
It was the singular event that brought the majority of folks to town. It was at a good time in September. It was known pretty well throughout, and it was, like I said, it's 35th year this year coming up, so it has a good history. The people that was working on it, the other group that passed the baton, did a great job getting it started and building it, and now it's passed to a younger group with, they want to keep it going, but the interests are a little different. You know, time changes a lot of things, whether we like it or not, and it's continuing to grow, and it is now a large part of the Casey activities, but it's also in its own right helped us develop the other things we're doing. Well, we was here for the Popcorn Festival. We know what Casey looks like. Well, now we've got the Freedom Festival. Now we've got big things in the small town. Now we got some other things that we remember Casey from that original Popcorn Festival we went to. It's a nice town. Let's go see the other things. And it's been a very big part of keeping people coming back to our community.
You're not a one-trick pony.
We're not a one-trick pony anymore.
Several things to come visit Casey. And obviously, and as I rewatched our taping before we taped, I will hit up the Candy Canes on Main eventually.
Okay.
It is on the list of things to do. Sometimes it's challenging with schedules and whatnot. Let's follow up on some things that we talked about last time when we first talked. You've been mayor now of Casey for 2 years now.
May of 21 is when I took office.
Very good. So as we tape here, latter part of June, some of the things that you wanted to focus on that first time that we talked, and things do take a little bit of time to get going on ideas and whatnot, but give us an update on the plans to focus on that area between Route 40 and Interstate 70, and maybe getting utilities up that way, a motel. Give us an update on where the planning is and the idea for that.
Well, we're still focusing on that. We're working at trying to bring in a motel, and the larger chains think we're a little small, and the smaller chains, with the uptick in interest rates, have found it not necessarily financially feasible to do anything right now.
So there's no middle.
There's no middle right now.
Okay.
We're still looking, and I know we'll have some people come and look because they've told us they would in the future. A restaurant that had planned on this year has kind of put his plans off because of those construction costs, but he plans on coming back at a later date. And we plan on stretching things up past the interstate. We would love to include a truck stop in the future. We're working with the landowner, trying to find a company that's interested. That's ongoing. Nothing solid now, but those will be coming in, and our revenue sources are starting to come in line. We've reinvested some cash assets, got some CD interest coming in. Our business district goes into effect July the 1st. And our dispensary is looking to open up somewhere in July on a temporary basis, with his full-time operation coming somewhere in December before the 1st of January.
And the dispensary you're talking about is a new thing that we've seen pop up in several Central Illinois communities, regardless of size. And that would, and you kind of went over some things with me. We don't have to disclose all that information, but that is a great new source of money.
It's between our investment dollars coming back, with our business district, and with the municipality tax on the dispensary, we're going to have a couple of $1 million that we didn't have in the past to use toward these list of projects that we're going to discuss over the next few months, few years, and that's going to be a great thing for Casey.
I want to follow up on something that was under construction. The former City Hall, this is the new City Hall here in Casey. The former City Hall was under construction the last time I taped with you, a year and a half ago. Butcher shop, is it open, and how's it doing?
Ryan Strange from Charleston brought his second shop down here.
Know the name, yep.
And Ryan's a great gentleman. He's got a very nice butcher shop. We was hurting for a grocery store per se. Ryan brought the butcher shop in, and after talking to him, discussing the need for some dry goods and some grocery, he's actually turned his butcher shop into a small grocery store with produce and dry goods and some other stuff. It's helped a bunch.
Wow, it's not just a butcher shop.
Not just a butcher shop, but it is one of the best butcher shops you're going to get, and he does an excellent job of maintaining it. His people are excellent, and it's helped the community out quite a bit. And then along with the butcher shop, Family Dollar came a few months ago.
Okay.
They brought a general market that has some grocery and produce in it that helped us out. And then we had a Dollar General on the north end of town that helped also. So we don't really have a grocery store per se, but between the butcher shop, Family Dollar, and Dollar General,
put them all together.
You put them all together, and you can almost get what you need now. And we're still looking for the grocery store, but we're not having a whole lot of luck. But in the meantime, with those folks helping, we can get by.
The Family Dollar is located where in Casey?
The old IGA building.
Okay.
They've been up there probably 2, maybe 3 months now.
Okay.
Great little store. They did a ton of work on it.
Relatively new.
Relatively new, correct.
Okay, very good. Any other economic development that you can talk about? Or, as we tape here, middle of the year, just general interest in Casey? People are interested in the community?
Yeah, the interested community. As the weather grows, people are outside, the days get longer. That's when they come out and start walking up Main Street and look at our big thing, small town.
Yeah.
Our downtown businesses are doing super. It's the good thing about a small town is you got small town mentalities, and everybody knows everybody and everybody's friendly. And when I'm walking up and down Main Street talking to our visitors, they say, well, this is such a friendly little town. I said, well, I know everybody in town pretty much, and that's the way we were raised, was to be friendly. Midwest hospitality, I think is what they call it, and it shows when you talk to the people that come and visit.
Yeah, the butcher shop certainly taking advantage of that
Yeah,
location.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
can't have a better location than that.
Nope.
All right, very good. So you have the butcher shop in the downtown area. You have the new Central Park.
Yep.
And we obviously have talked about the Popcorn Festival. That's at Fairview Park. That's a great park here in Casey. Any public works of note? We're in the warm weather months. Communities typically, they get a lot of work done with their public works. Any notable public works going on?
We have got started on our downtown bathrooms.
Fantastic.
And it's a slow process, but we hope to have them up and running by this fall. Whenever we start having our fall programs, we're building the bathrooms across from Central Park. New bathrooms, men's and women's, with some covered area for sitting, and have an area there that you can sit and view the music and the festivals across the street.
Or stargaze at the big
Or
thing.
stargaze or whatever, or just sit there and take a break. That we hope to have up and running here in the next couple of months. My utility gentleman is working on that diligently. It's just, this day and age, it just seems like things don't go as fast as you want them to go.
Oh, absolutely. You have an idea and you want it to be up like
Exactly,
that.
exactly. Don't work that way.
It doesn't work like the movies.
Correct.
Seeing what the public bathrooms did for a neighboring community of Marshall, that's going to be a tremendous asset.
Absolutely.
Obviously, the location is
Couldn't beat it for downtown, correct.
Absolutely. Are we forgetting anything, Mike? Is there anything else that you think you can talk about before we?
Well, there's a lot of
maybe end with the big things again, because our next segment's going to feature the big things. But any other projects or things that you're thinking of that may be in the very early idea stage?
Well, one of the things that we're going to try to do, and I've talked to some people to try to help us out, is as our new revenues come in, we're wanting to do quite a few things down at the park. We're wanting to expand on the kids' playground area and develop some areas.
You're talking about Fairview?
Fairview Park, correct,
Okay,
sir.
very good.
We're wanting to expand on that and have some areas for different age classes, some areas for the younger kids, some areas for the middle kids, some areas for the older kids. As the revenues come in, we plan on trying to put a splash pad down there also. Over by the old tennis courts, we plan on redoing that, put in a couple of pickleball courts, a new basketball court, and a new skateboard facility as monies allow. And then we also would like to increase some activities down there and have some new festivals strictly geared toward the Fairview Park. Not necessarily with the Popcorn Festival, to be able to use that park to our advantage too. And those are forthcoming. Like I said, once we got the revenue sources in place, then we can start making these plans.
Right.
And hopefully I could get them accomplished before my term ends and we can go from there. But yeah, we're moving forward. A lot of help from the community, a lot of people excited, and a lot of tourists coming to town to help us fund them, and things are looking rosy.
There you go. You got the community support. Very good. We're taping again here, latter half of June 2023. I'm about to change my clothes because I'm going to be running around following April Hagan as she helps do the trolley and shows off the big things in the community. So we'll have a nice little feature. Don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm excited to get the camera on my shoulder and have some fun. When you get to this point of the year, Mike, and it's nice and warm, and the people, it's easy for people to travel and commute and be tourists and check things out. What's the excitement level in the town when it's in the warm weather months and you have days like today, which are nice, and you probably have some people in town going, oh, look at that.
You'd be surprised how many locals don't really get out and see things or check them out until the weather starts getting a little bit nice. They know they're there, but now they have family come into town. Well, let's go look at it. Like right now, today, I've got family here from North Carolina and a nephew from Arizona, and we're going to go hop on the trolley here after lunch and give them a chance to see.
So you might be in the video.
I might be on there with you.
You might see Mike again later in the program.
So we're going to show them the big things in a small town, and it's funny how when you talk, and I go downtown and talk to people all the time, different states. Well, we've seen you on Facebook, we've seen you on Twitter, we've seen you on these other places where people are talking about your little town. Shows like yours get the publicity or get us out there in the public and view that. And well, you got such a nice little town. I've heard it called a Hallmark town, which is
has a nice little ring to it.
That makes me feel good, and it's all because of the people we got downtown. All these small businesses we have, they're all owned by beautiful people that take the time to talk, take the time to visit. They're not in a hurry. We're laid back, small Midwest community, and I think that's what people love about us. And that'll not change with how I know the people down there that own those businesses, how I know the folks that's on my city council, and how I myself want to operate. That's going to maintain forever, and so more people can get to enjoy our little town of Casey.
Great to catch up on things going on in Casey, Illinois, with the mayor of Casey, Mike Nichols, and all that is going on and the ideas moving forward. Mike, it's been a pleasure to have you on again.
Appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Look forward to coming back for a third time down the road.
You bet. Anytime you want to say something nice about our town, we're willing to have you come and visit.
We love sharing the info of our local communities here on City Spotlight. Coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll have a feature behind-the-scenes look at the big things. And before we do that, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Casey.
Put your head in closer to your sister. Valley, lean that way. Valley, lean that way.
Is this our house?
Your oldest.
Yeah.
Is this our house? Is that what you said?
Which big thing are you looking forward to seeing most?
The chair.
Chair, you don't have to go too far to see it.
That'd help if I poured it.
I'm not sure.
All right, y'all cut in.
Yeah.
Tina, where are you from?
Indianapolis, Indiana.
What brought you to Casey, Illinois?
Had the day off, it's Juneteenth, and thought I'd bring the old cute little granddaughters out just for a little fun trip.
And you're from Indianapolis, which is a much bigger city than Casey, Illinois. So how did you hear about Casey?
I grew up in a little town, so I love these little towns. We were just driving by one day and saw it off of the interstate, and I thought it'd be fun. So this is my second time here. So
Your second time here, but still, I guess your impressions even after the second visit.
oh, I think it's fun. It's just something fun to do. If you've never seen anything like it, it's fun.
And the whole concept of the big things, did they wow you? What did you think about the big things?
Yeah, a couple of them are pretty awesome. The rocking chair, the wind chime. Did you like it the best? Yeah, those two were good. And I love the bird.
Well, yeah, what did you think of the bird cage? It seems to be
It's
popular.
cute. Yeah, it's really cute. Get in there and swing. It's a cute little town. I'll have to read up on the history, though, and how it even started. So
I am April Hagan, and I am the Model T's trolley manager here in Casey. I have lived in Casey my entire life, or right here in the local area. The trolley takes you around for an hour-long tour through our community. You see all but 4 items while you're on the trolley. We talk about the history of Casey, how we got to where we're at today. You learn fun facts about the items and other things you can do in the area while you're here. If you've been in town for more than 2 minutes, you realize that the locals will quickly call you out if they hear you say Casey. We are KZ. We are 2 letters that are not in the spelling of the word that we're named after.
KZ, huh?
Yes, and the explanation they give us for that is our location on the map. We are just far enough south. We have some of the slower southern speech pattern that has worked in here, but we're far enough north. We have some of the rapid speech pattern that has worked in, and we've combined the 2 and created our own speech pattern in this part of the country.
What is your favorite thing about driving this trolley around Casey?
I love meeting all of the people who come through our community. They all have such unique stories, and I love hearing about their stories and what brought them here to Casey.
What is your main objective when you're taking people around in the trolley?
The main objective with the trolley is to promote the entire community and the surrounding area so that you can see that Casey has a lot more to offer than just the big things, that we do have a lot of activities that take place here. There are a lot of other things you can take part in while you're here and see that there's just a lot more here in our growing community. Oh, she likes you guys. It only took her 2 tries today.
When you come to a little town like this in the middle of what seems like nowhere, and you stumble across some little town that has 12 Guinness World Record things, what do you think?
I think it's awesome in a little town in Illinois. I'm originally from Illinois myself, but I just think it's cool. I think it's a great idea. It's just something to do. Get out of the house and go roaming, and go find some cool things to do. That's what I like about it.
And if you look over here in the 3rd tall stained glass window, the one that is the closest to the bell, right there in the middle of that oval, you are going to find Abraham Lincoln looking back at you. I am going to direct your attention to this side of the trolley. Right here in the last window is a large crochet hook. And then hanging right here on the wall is a large set of knitting needles. Those are the 2 items that are the former world record holders here in Casey. In order to be certified, those items did have to work. She actually had to knit with those knitting needles, and she had to crochet with that crochet hook. The owner of that establishment is a former elementary teacher here in Casey. When she broke the world record, she did that in front of our student body. They gathered all of the kindergarten through 6th grade students together for an assembly. She sat in a chair in the middle of the gym in front of them, knit the 10 by 10 square, and defeated the world record in front of all of the kids. As she did that, she talked to the kids about dreaming big and working hard to achieve their dreams. The most common question that I get asked is, why do we have this stuff? And the reason why we have it is our community was a dying off community, and a local businessman wanted to help keep us from dying off completely. So he came up with this idea to bring people into our community. It's not a world's largest item. It does not trap and kill mice, so it cannot be certified. But you are in luck. The bar on the bottom lifts up, you can slide underneath there, and you can pretend like you're a dead mouse. I know, check it off your bucket list today. Everybody has that one on there. The big things really have brought life back to this community. It brings excitement and energy into the community. People really love to come to see this, and it's really fun to be part of it and see the community come back to life.
Do you have a favorite big thing?
I have a favorite small thing. One of the residents has put out a little chair that's a little squirrel feeder, and it's hidden along my trolley route, and it's actually my favorite thing to show people while we're in town.
Do you have one in this town that you think is just maybe feels a little bit bigger than the others?
Probably the rocking chair. It has such fond memories attached to a rocking chair and sitting outside with family members throughout the years. Now, when Jim was trying to decide what he wanted to put in our town here, he had very fond memories of sitting on his grandma's front porch in her rocking chair, listening to the wind chimes. That's why these 2 items were selected. That little cafe right next door is called Whittling Whimsy. It's named after Jim's grandma, And this area right here is kind of dedicated to her. The whimsy comes from whimsical. He thinks of his childhood as whimsical and magical, but as you age, you can kind of lose that. That's why he makes items from your childhood, so as an adult, when you come back, they are larger than life, whimsical, and magical to you once again. Across the street right here, this is the world's largest rocking chair. Number 2 is on the other side of St. Louis on Route 66. That is the one they defeated. That one was built on site. It took 2 years to complete its construction. It's made entirely out of recycled materials. That wood is more of the old telephone poles. The pipes that make up the back are old interstate light poles, and the poles that make up the legs are old pipeline pipes. That giant over there weighs in at 46,200 pounds. And in order to be certified, it did have to rock. So on the day that they were here to certify that, Jim placed himself and 9 of his male employees up in the seat of that, and they ran from one side of the chair to the other, back and forth until it rocked.
That'd be fun.
Thank you for tuning in to City Spotlight. You can check out past episodes, including the one you're watching right now, on YouTube. To check out recent episodes of Central and Southeastern Illinois towns featured on City Spotlight, search on YouTube, City Spotlight, with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the last 5 episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.